Welcome to Two Non-Yarn Snobs. This is Sabrina. It's just me. Um, there's still a pandemic going on out there. So, until we can be together, we'll just podcast separately. And I know, it's been a while. I haven't been here. Did I tell you there's a pandemic going on? Anyway, I'm here now. It's a new year. It's 2021. The dumpster fire of 2020 is over. But 2021 is really not looking a whole lot better to me. We'll see as things go along. Jerry, my husband, was able to get vaccinated. And that makes me super happy because he's high risk. And I don't need to hear it. Everyone can do their own thing and make their own decisions. Goodness knows I've made plenty of bad decisions in my life. But we had to make this decision for ourselves. I'm not for or against. You have to do you. But for us, this was the right decision. And when it's available, I will get it done. And then maybe things will calm down and get a little closer to normal. I made some notes. So if you see me looking over this way, it's because I made notes. We're still doing virtual school for now. And that's a 50-50 situation. It's 50% good, 50% not good. Sending my son to school would definitely be the easier option because I'm teaching long division with decimals and math is not my strong suit, but that has been easier for me than language arts. Whoa, 5th grade is hard, guys, hard. I have experienced, maybe for the first time in my adult life, some real depression. And that's why I have not been coming to sit down and talk with y'all. And I know that's a cop-out and it's ridiculous. And, but pandemic depression is a real deal. Or it was for me. Or it is for me. Let's see, what else? I tossed my stash. I pulled everything off the shelves and out of the cubbies and reorganized and revamped for the new year. So I think that was a good thing. Anyway, it was a good thing for me. And I know where all my stuff is and I'm pretty happy about it. So it's 2021. Do you make crafting goals? Do you set resolutions for yourself? I thought about it for a long time because a lot of people do. They make 9s and they make lists and it's not for me. I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it. Knitting and crochet and spinning and weaving, that is all fun for me. I enjoy it very much. I could not think of anything that I would rather spend my time doing. But I think if I say I have to do X, then I'm just not going to do it. I know me. That's just not going to work for me. In the back of my head, do I have like things? Well, sure. Of course I do. You know, do I try to make dishcloths every year for Christmas? Yes, even when I say I'm not going to. Because my family enjoys them, and my sister-in-law, we were talking on the phone the other day, and she goes, I was just thinking about you. And I said, oh yeah? She goes, yeah, I think about you every time I wash my dishes or wipe down my countertops, and because I'm using your dishcloths, and it always makes me think of you. That's a win! Definitely a win. You know, anything that's getting used and appreciated, to me, is a win, for sure. So, I probably have not been shopping, Walmart included, half a dozen times this last year. And it's not a leisurely shopping at any time. It's run in, get what you got to get, and get out as fast as possible. And I have never been a big online shopper either. And some of that has not changed. It's just how I've always been. So, my husband got new glasses yesterday, and I got off work a little bit early, and he was like, hey, I need to go over to the next town over, next big town over, and pick up my glasses from the Walmart. Do you want to ride with me? And I was like, yeah, I'll ride with you. And I had no intentions of going in the store. I thought, well, I'll just sit in the car while he runs in and he gets his glasses. And we get there, and he was like, is there anything that you need while we're here? And I was like, well, you know, I could use some more index cards, because I use index cards like people use Post-its. I write my notes on them. If I need to stick it somewhere, I use Scotch tape. But I use them all the time. I use them every day. And so he said to me, why don't you go back there and get your index cards, and I'm just going to run in and get my glasses, and I'll meet you back in the car. I was like, okay, I can do that. And I went back, and my goodness, they had all kinds of index cards. They had pastel ones and bright colored ones, and the pens were there. I spent $21. I spent $21 on pens and index cards. He said I'm not allowed to go anymore. But he got me this beautiful little to-do list kind of thing, and it says, I've got this. And it is in my Christmas, and see all these beautiful colors on the outside. While I was back there grabbing my index cards, I saw these felt tip pens that had all the same colors as my little to-do list. I had to have them. I had to have them. My goodness. And they have made me smile now for 2 days. So, you know, I think that's a win. A $21 win for sure. So, I got an organizer in my Christmas stocking. Years ago, now it's going to date me bad, I used a day runner. And a leather day runner that zipped up, and I took all my appointments that were in it, everything. Well, then I was just kind of over it, and I haven't had any kind of planner for a long time, probably over 10 years. And this was in my Christmas stocking, and I thought, well, that's kind of cute, but it's awful small. I find that this is plenty of room for me to write things on. And it has these blank pages at the back. So this year, I am keeping track of what all I do in my crafting life. Just with some little hash marks, and so that's exciting, and I'll actually be able to sit down and look at the end of the year and see what I've done. The other thing that I'm doing this year that I've never done before is I'm saving all my ball bands. And it has to be completely finished. It cannot be any leftover and going in the scrap bin. It has to be completely finished. So I'll show you what I'm doing to fix that here in a minute. So I'm saving my ball bands and adding up my meterage or my yardage, and I'm writing down exactly what I've done. So I think that will be some fun for 2021. I've made lots of notes, but I'm not going to try to keep this fairly short, and I think I'll be back again next week. That's my plan. That I've told myself I'm going to sit down and talk with y'all at once a week, every Saturday. You probably won't get to see it until Monday because our internet here is not great, but the internet at the grooming shop is fantastic, and I can upload pretty quickly there. The other thing that I have decided to do this year is tell you what I spent to make a project. Because we are just an average income household, maybe a little on the lower side now. For those of you who are just joining me or don't know me, haven't been around for a long time, we owned a grooming shop for many years, a dog grooming shop. We sold that, and the plan was not to retire, was to retire and move out of state. Well, that did not work out. I have taken a job as a groomer, and I work for my sister-in-law. She opened the grooming shop just so I would have a place to work. Super sweet of her. But I work on commission, so we just don't have a ton of disposable income, and I am a lot on the thrifty side when it comes to crafting. So I thought it might be interesting for me to tell you what it costs me to do things. Okay, so I pretty much got through my list, and the only thing left on there was Christmas, which we've talked about some of that, but I want to show you something that my husband made me that solved a problem. We don't eat at our kitchen table. It's just 3 of us. We eat in the living room in front of our TV. I don't feel like I'm alone in that. I feel like probably many people do that. And our son eats in his room, and he has like a TV tray. Well, we didn't have any TV trays, and I couldn't find any that I was happy with to buy. Because the new ones that you can buy are pretty thick and clunky and plastic, and definitely not the TV trays from my childhood in the 70s that all folded up and set in a rack, and they were metal, and you open them up. And so anyway, Jerry went out in the wood shop, and he cut me a board. No, it's a pretty simple thing. And then he burned it, and now I can sit it on my lap, and I can eat my dinner off of it. I can write letters, and I have truly enjoyed this. It is probably the best gift I got for Christmas, and it might be because he made it for me. I love it. Okay, so we're like, what, 15 minutes in, and I haven't shown you anything. So I did lots of crafting in November and December. I gifted it all away, and I don't have any of it to show you. You know, I was working on the slipper project. It went well. I made slippers for all the children. I didn't, and some of the adults, but not all of the adults. I switched and made hats for some of them, and everything was well received. And so I'm gonna show you what I've done, what I've done since the new year. And sometimes I drift down rabbit holes, and so I have quite a few FOs, but they're pretty much just 2 different things. Hi, honey.
Where's the camera?
Over here.
Oh, but you got it. You gotta show them your stuff here. So you gotta show them. Wore my scarf. Look. Oh, nice. Very nice. Very warm. You gotta show them your stuff. You gotta see everything. Oh, this sweater. I love this sweater. You gotta show them the sweater too. See, I've done that too. See? Yeah, you did that. I did that. You did that. I love it. I wear them. Look at these. I like these socks too. They're good.
So these were his Christmas socks that he got this year.
Yep.
This is, oh my goodness, what yarn was this?
You're taking too long. Show them this too. Ooh. Nice. Yep. Okay. I'm out of here. Bye. Love you.
I love you. So really, I have several finished objects, but they're really only two things. So I decided that I was going to make some bath poofs. Because the net ones, like, I know they're 97 cents at Walmart or 98 cents or something like that. And they're like the net loofahs that you can use in the shower. And they just don't hold up and they tear easy. And you put them in the washing machine, they're fine. If you put them in the dryer, they kind of melt. And so I just got on Ravelry and I found this pattern. Can you read that? Bath Poof by Daisy Cottage Designs. So the first one I made out of Lily's Sugar and Cream. And this is the color Mod Blue. Does it look like a brain? Because it kind of looks like a brain to me, a blue brain. And we have not used these yet. So I really think, hi honeys. Yeah, I see that sweater. And I started wondering if they were going to like have to be washed and dried after every shower, or whether it would hang up and dry. But I think that they're going to smell, because I don't think they're going to dry fast enough. So I said to myself, what if I use acrylic? Okay, cost to make that was $1.77 because it took an entire ball. And I did not entire ball of the peaches and cream cotton, the kitchen cotton, an entire skein of that. I'm probably going to have to go back to using Sharpies so y'all can read this. So $1.77. I don't think that's too bad. So we'll be test driving these now that I podcast. So then my brain said, why do they have to be made out of cotton? I can wash my body with something that's not cotton. I'm sure I have microfiber washcloths. They're not cotton. So the next one I made, same pattern. And this is Red Heart Super Saver in shades of purple. And it cost me $1.73. Because it took about a half a skein. I weighed it. I don't remember what it weighed. And did the math. Still, I don't think that's too bad. And I think they'd make nice gifts. Birthday with some nice handmade soap. I think that they're really pretty incredible. I really like them. And look how nicely it sits in my hand. And easy to hold and grab onto too. I'm a fan. So did I just make two? No. The other thing is, this is a very simple pattern. Right? It's an easy pattern. If you can do a double crochet, you can do this. Is it fast? It just depends on what your definition of fast is. I can do one in an evening while we're watching TV. So, 2 or 3 hours. Now comes the fun part. Same pattern. And this is Sail yarn. it's vintage yarn, probably from the 80s. It had a 96 cent price tag on it. And came from Fred's, which anytime I was ever in Fred's, they didn't even have yarn. So, I'm thinking that's probably an 80s price tag. But a niece of mine picked up some bags of yarn. And at the Salvation Army, and she brought them to me.
Check out these boots.
This is the Moon Kusa. They can't see them. Moccasin boots, and Jerry really wanted some, and I made them for him, and they're incredibly warm house shoes. And he's walking outside in them now. Okay, so this cost me nothing to make because my niece picked up like 2 or 3 little bags of yarn, and I mean small bags of yarn from the Salvation Army. I don't know what she paid for them. They were a gift to me, and yes, please, I will use 30-year-old yarn. Not a problem. Some of it doesn't have any labels on it. None, most of it was not full skeins. I will find something to do with it because I got to make this for free. And I'm so totally stoked about that. Okay. I have one more, and then I'll quit boring you with my bath poofs. But I don't know if I'm done, because I think they're pretty incredible. So this one is Lion Brand yarn, Danielle yarn. Never heard of it. Like 90-something cent price tag on it. It's pretty old. And it was like a DK weight, which was too floppy, so I held it double. So this one's got a little more oomph to it, but not too much. It's not super heavy, and I still think they're going to dry overnight. Hanging in the shower, and I hope that they won't smell. But I was throwing my bath poofs in the wash about once a week anyway. So that's all the bath poofs I've done. I remember. So these are tube socks. Jerry prefers his socks not to have heels. He wears a size 15 shoe. And I normally do contrast cuffs and toes just so I can get a little bit more out of a skinny yarn for him. This was Patton's Croy. And the colorway is Eclipse Stripes. And they were probably on my needles for too long, but he got them for Christmas. So he was super happy and had to share with you. I finished a pair of socks for Landon for Christmas too. And I have cast on a pair for Landon, although I really want them to be mine. And I'm at the heel flap. I didn't bring them to show. Hopefully, maybe I'll have a finished sock next week. I have to work on them to get there. Okay, the only other thing that I have done since the first of the year, well, maybe 2 things, is some dishcloths. And I'm going to make dishcloths this year until I don't have any more dishcloth cotton. And then I'm going to call it quits because I don't need 50 dishcloths to gift at Christmas time. I really need only about 20, 25. I don't have a lot of dishcloth cotton left. And when I run out, that's okay. It's $1.77 at my box store here in town. It's always readily available. I do not need to have a large stash of that. I'm always stashing down, right? I don't know that it ever works, but I am always stashing down. Anyway, this is the Super Simple Diamond Dishcloth by Louise Patterson. And I have one done in sandstone, 2 done in sandstone. I think I'm out of sandstone now. This is, now I have a dog wanting in the door. Anyway, she is a new dog to us, and she has been very, very timid, so to see her wanting in the door is kind of nice, but I'm not going to stop this to let her in. This is called Dreamsicle, so that's 3 dishcloths. Another Dreamsicle, that's 4. And then this one, I don't know what this purple color is. It's purple. I don't have any of it left, I don't think. It was just a tiny little bit. And then I had just this little bit of sandstone left. So I just striped it in until I ran out. And then finished in purple. And I love it. I think I like the scrappy ones maybe even more. And they cost me, you get, with this pattern, I can get 2.5 dishcloths. I knit my dishcloths on a size 6 needle because I kind of like a tighter gauge. And I can get 2.5, so that makes them 70 cents a piece. And in the, I mean, maybe that's pricey for a dishcloth, but I feel like they last a very long time. Okay. So, I have decided that I'm saving my ball bands, like I told you, so I can see how many meters I knit, or yards. I'm in the U.S., and it's always yards. I don't even know what a meter really is. I know it's less than a yard. So, I decided that, I wasn't going to put my ball bands in until I used all the yarn. That way I could truly see how many yards I used. And I decided to make little 2-row grannies. And I'm not going to bore you with all of them, because I made a hat too that you didn't see because Jerry took it right away. As soon as it was done, it was on his head. So this was out of the hat. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to do the join as you go and join them all together with black. And I think it's going to be a pretty phenomenal little afghan. That's the plan right now. So hopefully every week when we come back to sit down and visit, I will have new tiny grannies to show you. And I think that's all I have. It's right about 30 minutes. That's kind of where in my head I would like to keep these videos until Anna and I can get back together. So until next week, stay healthy, stay safe, and keep your needles clicking, guys. See you next week. Bye.